Lehi Roller Mills cooking moment. Today we're going to be doing the sugar cookie mix with icing. Now to open this, you want to have the label with the name on it facing towards you. You're going to go and you want to pull it from right to left. I'm done. Now the directions are on the underside of the label, and that's what we'll be following to make these cookies. Now you're going to need 2 bowls, one to make the cookie mix and one to make the frosting for icing. So we're going to start with just the cookie. Here's our bowl, just a medium-sized mixing bowl will work fine. Now in this bag are 2 mixes. The smaller one is the icing mix. Set that aside and we'll come back to that later. And the bigger one is the cookie mix, which we are going to use. And you're going to dump the entire bag into this bowl. So here is your 2/3 cup water. Just going to pour right in, like that. Just go and scoop it off this tray in here. Make sure you got it all. Blend this all together here. Once it gets all mixed together, you do the final little mixing with your hands. It's coming together, you just want to make sure everything is moist and all together. It looks good. We're going to lightly flour our surface. Sprinkle some flour on there. A little bit more. Okay. Now I'm actually only going to take about half of this dough. The board that I'm rolling it out on, it's not big enough. But if you have a large enough surface at your home, go ahead and use all the dough at one time. So I'm just going to grab a little bit out. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm just going to take the dough and just get it formed into a nice ball to start with. Okay, so I'm going to need to get a rolling pin, and you want to lightly flour your rolling pin. Just rub it in flour. Good. Okay, now when you're rolling, you want to go from the center out. Like this. And you want it to be about 1/4 inch thick. Now, you can use any shape you want. I have here stars, hearts, just a plain circle, so we'll do all 3. And press down and turn. Now we're going to go to the star, lightly flour that as well. Now this one, just kind of wiggle it as you go down. You don't want to turn it because it'll mess up your formation that you're doing. You want to try and just get as many shapes as you can on what you've rolled out. So we'll go back to the star here. Now you want an ungreased cookie sheet. And just take this and it'll peel right away. Now remember, it's an ungreased cookie sheet. You'll just take these and put these right on the cookie sheet. You just want to give enough room that they're not going to run into each other. They really don't spread. Now if you really want to be a pro and not have your shapes get all messed up, you just take a spatula. You're just going to lightly flour it. Scoop it onto your spatula, take it right over to your sheet, and you don't lose any of the form. Okay, now you're going to want to bake these in an oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees. You want the rack down about in the middle, and these are going to bake for 8 to 10 minutes. We do have some dough left over, so while these are baking, you can go ahead and roll out the rest of your dough and continue cutting shapes. Now I'm going to grab my smaller bowl. I'm going to combine a small packet of mix. Get all of this out of the bag. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk, which I've already measured out. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm going to just dump this straight into the mixture I've already started. I'm just going to mix this all together. Try and get all this mix moist. Take my tablespoon here. It's okay that it still has butter on it from the last time you used it. Measure it out. We're going to continue to mix this with the fork. Get all the rest of this mix in here. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to go check on our cookies. Now just a tip with baking cookies, our sugar cookies directions say bake for 8 to 10 minutes. Now you want to check them on the minimum, which should be 8 minutes, to make sure that they haven't burned. You want them to be lightly brown on the bottom, but not brown on the top. We're going to go check them and see how they're doing. Now these look really good. They're just barely light on top. and just dark on the bottom. Now, to have these cool, you'd normally use a cooling rack. However, if you don't have a cooling rack, you can just put them on a wood surface, just something that will absorb the heat from the cookie. We're going to let these cool for a couple minutes, and then we'll come back and ice them. You just want to take a little bit of icing mix, enough to fill a spoon. Now, I'm just using a regular everyday spoon. Don't need any special spoon to do this with. I'm going to drop it right in the middle and spread it around with the back of the spoon. And that's it. Now, if you want to add a little color to any of these, just put some sprinkles on or add a touch of food coloring while you're mixing. I'm Katie Page, and this has been a Lehi roller milk cookie.